Okay, fine. I think my screen is clearly visible and I am also clearly audible. Do you have any issues? Just let me know in the chat section. Within few seconds, I am going to disable the chat section. Yeah, okay, fine. It's clear light. Okay, guys, thank you for confirming. Okay, so here I am going to create a new folder. Today is our day 6, right? So I have created a new folder. Inside this folder, I am going to open Visual Studio Code. This is our first step. And today our concept is tuples. But before discussing about tuples, I need to complete few more things in list. So first let me complete the list. After that, let us discuss about tuples. And I have disabled the chat section. So yesterday we have discussed about list, right? We have seen that if we want to store multiple values inside a single variable, we will use list. If we want to use single values means we can directly assign those values to our variables. So guys, guys, just to confirm me once again, there is no issue from my side, right? Because I am getting some messages like your screen is not visible, sir. That's why I'm asking. It is clear, right? Fine. Voice is breaking. Okay, okay, guys. Thank you for confirming. Thank you. So let us begin today's class. Fine. So yesterday we have seen that if we want to store multiple values inside a single variable, then we will use list. So in case of list, we know that the syntax is the first thing is we need to mention a list using square braces. So we need to declare a list using square braces. And the next thing is we can store multiple elements inside a list, and all those elements should be separated by comma. And also we have seen that lists are heterogeneous, which means we can store different types of data inside a list. You can check out this in line number 11. We are storing integer values, we are storing string values, we are storing float value, and also here we can store boolean values. Like this, we can store multiple different types of data types inside a list. And we have discussed about indexing and slicing. We have seen some of the methods in list. So yesterday I have missed one method. So inside my folder day 6, I am going to create a new file called as listmethods.py, and I will select my interpreter, which is Python 3.11.4. Let me zoom in a little bit. So now first let us discuss about a method called as remove. Yesterday we have seen that we have a lot of functions in list. We have seen how to reverse a list. We have seen how to delete last element from a list. We have seen how to retrieve the index of any particular element from a list. So we have things like this. But if I want to delete a particular element from a list, how can I do that? So let me show that. So the first thing is let me declare a new list here called A, and the elements inside the list are 10, 20, 30, hello, gold, false. So false is a boolean value, and 20.65. Lot of students are still joining. I need to admit them. Okay, I have declared a new list here, and I am having some issues with my other laptop. Okay, fine. Let us continue. Still, a lot of students are joining. That's the problem. So today we are going to discuss about remove function. So this remove function is used to delete an element from list. So how can we do that? For example, here if I want to delete the element 30, I can simply say a dot remove 30. And if I print our list now, and also before removing the element, let me print once again. So if I run this program, then you can see here I got output. In the first list, I am having all the elements. You can see here I have 30 also. But after in the line number 7, while I am printing the list once again, you can see here the element 30 got deleted. So this is how we can delete an element from a list. Not only 30, I can delete any element. I can delete hello also. So if I run this program once again, then you can see here now hello got deleted. Now, what if uh, I specify an element here which is not present in that list? For example, 40 is not present in the list, right? 40 element is not present in the list A. Now, if I run this program, I will get an error. The error is value error list dot remove x. So x is the element which I have given, and it is saying me that x is not in the list. So if I mention an element which is not present in the list, then I will get an error. So I need to make sure that I am giving only elements which are present inside the list. Also, one more thing here, what happens? Still, a lot of students are joining. I need to admit them. Okay, fine. Here, what happens if the 30 is repeating more than once? So, like this. So, 30 is present more than once in my list now. You can see here now 30 is present almost 4 times in my list. Now, if I run this program, what will happen? Let's check out. So here you can see the first 30 got deleted. So here there is element 30 after 10, right? At the index number 1, there is element 30. So this 30 got deleted. But you can see here the 30 which is present after 20 is present in the new list. So while printing my list in line number 6, you can see here only 130 got deleted. So this is the thing about remove function. If there are multiple elements present inside a list, then the first element will get deleted. In case if there is only one element, means that element will be deleted. If there is if the element which I am mentioning inside remove function is not present in the list, means I will get an error. So I will repeat once again. Remove function is used to delete an element from a list. So if the element is present inside a list, then that element will be deleted. If the element is present more than once, then the first occurrence of that element will be deleted. Here you can see the element after 10 is deleted, and the element after 20 and after hello is present in the new list. You can check in the output. And also, if the element which I am mentioning inside remove function is not present in the list, means then I will get an error like value error. X is not in the list. I will get something error like this. So this is the concept of remove function. After this, now let me comment out these 3 lines so that you don't get confused with the output. So here we have a list here at line number 1, and the question is, can we store a list inside a list? So answer to this question is yes. Yesterday, after the class, someone asked me that can we store a list inside one list? The answer is yes. We know that lists are heterogeneous, right? We can store integer data types also, string data types also. Similarly, we can store a list inside a list. So let me demonstrate that. I am going to create a new list, and the name of that list is LST. And I know that, and we all know that for list we need to use square braces. Now, here let me store some elements like 10, 20, 30, and here I can store one more list inside this list. So let me give some elements here like hello, Python, true, 500. And after this also I can specify some elements like Avanto 99. So I am having some random elements inside this list. So here we know the concept of indexing, right? So what is the index number of this list? What is the index number of the list sublist? We can also say this as a sublist because this list is present inside one list. So what is the index number of this sublist? We know that the indexing starts from 0. So the index number of 10 is 0, 20 is 1, 30 is 2, and the sublist is 3. So now if I say print LST of 30, LST of 3, and you can see here I got output. I got entire list as my output. I got the entire sublist in my output. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, fine. So this is how we can access a sublist. We can access the sublist using index number also. So there's no one in waiting room because after completion of the class, I am getting lot of messages from students like, "Sir, you did not allow me." I'm getting messages like that. So you can check here. I will show you. So Lakshmi has raised the hand. After completion of the class, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. But there's no one in the waiting room. That's the point. So whoever is coming in the waiting room, I am automatically joining them. So all right. So like this, we can store a list inside a list, and if a list is present inside a list means we call it as a sublist. Now, is there any possibility for me to access this hello element only? Can I access it? So yes, the answer is yes. So with the help of index number 3, I can access this entire list. But if I want to access the elements which are present inside this sublist, I need to use another square braces here. So I will explain the syntax also, don't worry. Now here if I say 0, then you can see here if I run this program, if I run, if I run this program, you can see here I got output as hello. So what is happening here? So the syntax for accessing elements inside sublist. So the syntax is simple. First, we need to specify list name. After that, we need to give the index number of sublist. And after this, I need to mention another square brace where I should specify the index number of element in sublist. So this is how the syntax works. First, I need to specify list name. You can see here my list name is LST. After that, I need to specify the index number of sublist. It's not submit, it's sublist. So the index number of my sublist is 3 because indexing starts from 0. We have discussed this clearly yesterday. And after that, I need to mention one more square braces where I need to specify the index number of element which I want to access from the sublist. So here I am trying to access hello. So the index number of hello is 0 inside this sublist. So I have mentioned 0 here. In case if I want to access Python, then I can say list of 3 of 1. So if I run this program once again, let me zoom in a little bit. You can see here now I got output as Python because the index number of Python is 1 inside this sublist. and the index number of this sublist is 3. So you should not confuse about the index numbers here. So in case of my main list, the index number starts from 0. So for 10, the index number is 0. Similarly, for this sublist, my index number is 3. And inside this sublist, once again the indexing starts from 0. So for hello, the index number is 0. For Python, the index number is 1. And similarly for 500, the index number is 3. So similarly, if I want to access 500, I can use the index number 3 here. If I run this program, you can see here I got output as 500. So, so the answer to the question, can we store a list inside a list is yes. This is how we can store a sublist inside a main list, and also it is possible for us to access elements from sublist using index numbers. And we have discussed about remove function. And just let me check one second whether I have missed any functions or not. Simply, if I say list name dot, I will get all the recommendations here. So we have discussed about append function, right? Append function is used to add element at the end of the list. We have seen clear function. So clear function is used to delete all the elements from the list. We have discussed about copy. I think we haven't discussed about copy function. So fine, let us see that. And also we have seen about count function, which will return the occurrences of element in a list. For example, if I say here a dot count of 30, then I will get output as 30 is present 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 30 is repeating in my list. So if I say a dot count of 30, I will get output as, let me show you print a dot count of 30, I will get output as 4. So let me comment this line and I will run this program. Here I got output as 4. So, so we have, the point is we have discussed about count function, and we have discussed about extend function, which is used to add multiple elements at the end of the list. We have seen about index function, which is used to retrieve the index number from a list. We have discussed about insert function. So if we want to insert element at a specific position using index numbers, then we use this insert function. And we have seen that pop function is used to delete the last element from the list. And the remove function, today we have seen this, it is used to delete element from a list. And yesterday we have discussed that reverse function is used to reverse the contents present inside a list. So, and also the sort function is used to sort the list in either ascending order or descending order. So you can check out this in yesterday's file. And you all know that you can access this file using the GitHub link, which I am sharing daily in the WhatsApp. Open that link, go to day 5 and check out this program. And today's program will be obviously stored in day 6 folder. Okay, I hope you all know this. So we have discussed about list, and also there is one more thing. If you have, in case if you have any doubt regarding functions is a separate concept in Python programming language. In upcoming weeks, we are going to discuss about functions. But the point is here I am saying that remove is a function, insert is a function. So all these are functions, right? Reverse is a function, clear is a function. So let me give you a simple definition. I have already told this, but let me repeat once again. So the concept of function is nothing but it is used to do a specific task. For example, remove function is used to remove element from a list. Similarly, insert function is used to insert elements into a list. So the thing is, function is used to do a specific task. Remember this definition as of now. In our upcoming weeks, we are going to clearly understand the concept of functions in Python. And we know that print function is used to display output in the output screen. And we have discussed about type function. If I say print type of lst, I will get output as class str, because I know that lst is a I will get class list because lst is a list. Mm. So then the thing is the data present inside lst variable is list data type, so I am getting output as list. So yes, type function is used to print the data type present inside a variable. And also now I am going to show you one more function here. So there are some elements inside my list here. Now if I want to find out the length of the list, for example, I want to find out how many elements are present in this list, then I can use a function called len in Python. So the function is len, and this len function, len function, is used to find out how many elements are present inside a list. So in the line number one, I have declared list A, right? So if I say print len of A and if I run this program, then you can see here I got output as 10, which means there are 10 elements present inside the list. And also we know that if there are 10 elements present means the index number starts from 0 and it goes until 9. And also if I say print len of lst, then I will get output as 6 because there are 6 elements present inside this list. And also the one more thing is this entire sublist is considered as one element. So this entire sublist is considered as one element. So you need to remember that we have seen about len function. Len function in Python is used to find out the count of elements or to find out the length of the list. To find out number of elements inside a list or to find out the length of list. So yes, this is one more built-in function in Python. It comes along with the installation of Python. I am not declaring this len function anywhere, right? I am declaring this lst variable, which is a list, but I am not declaring this len function. I can directly use it because it is a built-in function, which means it comes by default along with the installation of Python. So this is the thing about these are the some things which I missed in yesterday's class. So I hope you all are clear with lists now. And also one more thing is yesterday we have seen some of the points related to list, right? So in the beginning of today's class also I have discussed about these points. But yesterday I have missed one point. So the thing is lists are mutable. So what is meant by mutable? Here you can see after declaring a list, I can delete element, I can insert element at any position I want. I can do whatever I want, right? So the thing about mutable is mutable means we can modify. After declaring a list, we can modify the elements present inside it. For example, if I want to delete this element 30, I can do that using remove function. If I want to insert element after 30, I can do that using insert function. So my point is we can modify the contents present inside a list after declaring it. So that is called as mutable. So that's why we also call lists as mutable. So in case of interview, if the HR or technical round HR is asking you any questions regarding list, then you need to say that lists are represented using square braces and the elements present inside list are separated by comma, and lists are heterogeneous, which means I can store different types of data inside a list. And the final point is lists are mutable, which means I cannot change the elements present inside a list after declaring a list. And the one more thing is here once we complete the concept of list means the remaining concepts are very simple. Like we can complete tuples within 20 minutes and it takes around 30 minutes to complete sets. So anyways, we are going to discuss about that in today's session only. I am going to discuss about tuples today. So first try to understand the concept of list clearly. After understanding about list, it is easy to understand the remaining data types like tuples, sets, dictionaries. So I know that if I say print lst of 0, I will get output as 10 because the element which is stored in index number 0 is 10. Now, can I modify this element using index number? So here now the question is, can I modify an element inside a list using index number? So the answer is yes. So how can I do that? I know that if I say print lst of 0, I will get output as 10 because 10 is stored in index number, index position 0. So I using index number, I can modify the element to, I can change the element now to 999. If I print the list A, the my list name is lst, not A. Run this program, then you can see here the index at index number 0, the new element is 999 now. Previously it was 10. So let me print the list once again and let me comment out line number 21. I run this program now. Previously, the first element of my list is 10, but now I have changed the element which is stored at index number 0 to 999. So while printing the list once again in line number 28, I got output as 999, 20, 30 like this. So the concept is I can modify elements present inside a list using its index number. So let me mention the syntax also. So the syntax is simple. First list name. After that, if while dealing with index numbers, it is mandatory to use square braces. We have seen that yesterday. After that, I need to mention the index number. Then I am assigning new value in the index number, right? So I need to use this assignment operator. I need to use this equal to assignment operator, and here I need to specify the new value. So this is the syntax you can see here in the below line. So my list name is LST and I want to change that index position 0 and I am changing the value as 999. So for example, if I want to change the value 30 to 300. So how can I do that? I know that the index number of 30 is 012. So index number of 30 is 2. So I am going to say list of 2 and I want to change 30 into 300. So I have changed that. So if I run this program now, then you can see here I got output as 999, 20, 30, 300. So this is the thing. This is how we can change the elements present inside a list using its index number. So we have completed the concept of lists. Around 6 people have raised their hands. If you have any issues, just let me know. I have enabled the chat section for a few seconds. If you have any issue with my audio, you can let me know. You can send a message. No, no issues, right? Okay, Nagaraju, thank you. So what about the people who have raised their hand? Lakshmi, Rajeshwari, Teja, Madhu Verma, Ram Kiran, Anjaneyulu, do you have any issues? Okay, okay. No issues, right? I am sending the daily class notes in WhatsApp group, Nagaraju. I am sending that GitHub link, right? Inside that link, you can find all the programs which we are discussing in our class. Okay, fine, it's clear. So Teja, what is your doubt? You can ask me. You can send a message now. Copy function, yes, I will discuss about copy function now. You can't find out. I'm daily sending this GitHub link in WhatsApp, right? Just click on that link. So after clicking on that link, you will find out the interface like this. So still I haven't uploaded today's class, which is today's folder day 6. So today's folder is day 6. So you can find out the remaining folders until day 5 here. If you click on day 5, you can check out the program list.py. We have discussed this yesterday, right? You can find out all the things which we are discussing inside class. So fine. So let us continue. So here I am changing element, right? Here I am changing the value. So previously in my LST, the value is 10. Now I have changed it to 999. So here I am changing the value of elements, right? That's why we can call it list as mutable. So still we need to discuss about copy function, right? Let me comment line number 30. And now we are going to discuss about copy function in list. So here let me declare two new lists now. So first thing is copy function. It is used to copy the elements from one list to another list. So this is the basic definition. How can we do that exactly? So here let me declare two new list A, which is 10, 30, 50, and another list. So for example, I want to create a new list named B, and I want to copy all the contents which are present in list A. Then simply I can say A dot copy. And if I print B, I need to print B here. So if I print B, then you can see here I got output as 10, 20, 10, 30, 50. Let me comment out line number 25 so that you don't get any confusion. So if I run this program once again now, you can see here I am printing here the variable B. I am printing the list B. So what am I doing here? First I have declared a list A, and after that I have declared another variable named B, and I am copying all the elements present inside list A. So here simply I can do that by saying A dot copy. So this copy function is used to copy all the elements present inside one list to another. Here I am copying all the elements from list A to list B. And while printing the list B, you can see here I got output as 10, 30, and 50. These three elements are present in list A. So this is the thing about copy function. It is used to copy the contents from one list to another list. And so yesterday I have sent one hacker rank contest, right? So I think I got some of the responses from students, which is really great. A lot of students attended that. Just give me a second. A lot of students attended that hacker rank contest. I got a lot of responses from students, which is great. So today, let me show you how to solve those two problems before getting started with tuples. Those are simple problems. Hacker rank. So this is the challenge. So I have sent you this contest in yesterday's WhatsApp group. So the first program is nothing. So first thing is after signing up into a contest, you will find a page like this. So here first you need to click on the first program and first you need to click on solve challenge. Here you can check out the program. You need to read the program, and from here you can change the programming language. You can change it to Python 3 instead of py3. You can change it to Python 3. So here is first read the program. So what is this program? Here is a sample line of code that can be executed in Python. Print hello world. You can easily store a string as a variable and then print it to standard output. So here they are asking me to store this hello world inside a variable, and they are asking me to print that. So this program is nothing. This program is nothing. So first you can simply copy these two lines and also you can run the code. You will get output. So this is just a practice program. So how to execute the program? First you need to click on run code. You can see here test case 0 is passing. So if all the test cases are passing, you need to click on submit code and click on yes, submit my code. So here you can check out all the available test cases. You can see there is only one test case and that test case is being passed here. So we have solved the first problem. Then similarly for the next question, click on solve challenge Python division. So first read the program. What is the program? The provided code reads two integers a and b from standard input. Okay, fine. Ignore that. We haven't discussed about input function yet. Fine. Let us discuss about this input function today. Here they are asking me to, the first line should contain the result of integer division a, b, and the second line should contain the result of float division. Okay, here they are giving two variables a and b. So in the first line, I need to print out the result of integer division, and in the to be more specific, in the first line, I need to print the result of float division. We have discussed about float division, and also we have discussed about normal division, right? In case of float division, we will mention two forward slashes like this. The only difference is in float division, we get rounded number as output, whereas in case of normal division, we get floating point number as output. So we have seen this while discussing about arithmetic operators. So the thing is here they have given two variables a and b, and first we need to perform the normal. First we need to perform the floor integration division, and after that we need to perform normal division. So if the numbers are 4 and 3 means if you divide 4 by 3, the output will be 1 in case of floor division, and the output will be in floating point number something like 1.33 in normal division. So here for example, first let me do that for floor division. Let me declare a new variable here as floor div, and I need to divide A and B in floor division, right? In floor division, I know that we use double forward slash, and after that I need to print the value of floor div, and I need to do normal division now. So let me declare one more variable as normal div. So here I need to divide the numbers A and B using normal division operator, which is single forward slash, and now I can print the value of normal div. So first let me run this program. You can see here my first test case is getting passed. So now I can click on submit code. I can click on yes, submit my code. So let me wait for the result. So there are two test cases here, and I am successfully I have successfully passed these two test cases. So if I do like this, then I will get some points. You can check out the leaderboard here also. So the first person to submit this is Faker. So nice, Shaker. Keep going like this. So this is the thing. This is how we can solve programs in HackerRank. So weekly, in every week, I will send you a contest like this. So this is just a demo contest. In from you need to strictly participate in upcoming contest to get certificate. And also, and also not only these two problems. So before giving you the contest links, I will solve a lot of problems in HackerRank so that you can clearly understand the working of HackerRank. Oh yes, we have discussed about yesterday's contest. We have completed the concept of list, and let me close these files. So all right, now let me create here a new file called tuples.py. And also one more thing, in browser, if you want to learn something about list, simply search as list in Python. So open any of the website. You can see here, let me zoom in a little bit. So they have shown how to declare a list. You can see here list are used to store multiple items in a single variables. I have been repeating the same sentence. I have repeated the same sentence lot of times. And you can see here lists are created using square braces and list items. So you can read all these things. It will be easy. So you can check out, we can add elements using append functions. So you can use this instead of following a single notes. Anyways, I won't share any notes like this. You can search in Google and you can learn lot of things from lot of websites. So that's why I am not sharing notes. Anyways, I will share these program files which I am creating. So I will share these program files through GitHub link. So now let us discuss about tuples. We already know that if I want to store multiple variables inside a list, obviously I can use. Sorry, if I want to store multiple values inside a variable, then obviously I can use a list. So now, what is this tuples? Why do we need it? So tuples are little bit different from list. So the first thing you need to remember is tuples are also used to store multiple values inside a single variables. Tuples are also used to store multiple values inside a single variable. And the next thing is, so what is the main difference between list and tuple now? So the thing is in syntax is tuples are represented by parentheses. So you know that parentheses, right? You can get that by pressing shift and 9. For open parentheses, you can use shift 9. To close the parentheses, you can use shift 0. So tuples are represented by parentheses, whereas lists are represented by square braces. We can create a list using square braces. Similarly, if I want to create a tuple, I need to use this parenthesis. And so what is the main difference between list and tuple? First thing is lists are represented using square braces and tuples are represented using parentheses. The one more difference is in case of list, I can modify the elements after declaring a list. We have seen that lists are mutable, which means I can modify the contents present inside a list after declaring it. Whereas in case of tuples, they are immutable, which means I cannot modify contents of tuple. So yes, this is the main difference between list and tuples. So the tuples are immutable, which means after declaring a tuple, I cannot modify the contents present inside a tuple. So which means here I cannot use append function, I cannot use pop function, I cannot use insert function. Also, I cannot delete any element. So I cannot use remove function. So we don't have any of these functions in tuples. We can use those functions in lists. So that's the main difference between tuples. And also one more thing is tuples are also heterogeneous. Similar to list, in case of tuples also, we can store data of different data types inside a tuple. So fine, the syntax is simple. So here the syntax is first you need to give a variable name. Then we need to use an assignment operator which is equal to assign tuple to our variable. And for tuple, I have just told that we use parentheses. And inside this, we give multiple values like this. So like this, we store elements inside a tuple. And also, you can simply use this point also in case the HR asks you this question. So the first thing is tuples are represented by parentheses. Tuples are immutable. I cannot modify the contents of tuple after declaring it. Tuples are also heterogeneous, which means I can store different data types inside a single tuple. And also the elements inside tuples are separated by commas, similar to list. This is the syntax. So fine. Now let us declare our first tuple. So the variable name is tup here, and we all know that we can use variable names of our own choice. And I know that to declare a tuple, I need to use parentheses. Now this is a tuple. So let me enter some of the random elements here, like 10, 20, 30, and another string like Python, and one more string like hello, like this. So here now I am having five elements inside this tuple. Now if I print the variable tup and if I run this program, then you can see here I got entire tuple in my output. So similarly, if I print the type of variable tup, if I run this program once again, you can see here for line number 12, I am getting the entire tuple as output, and for line number 13, where I am printing the type of the variable tup, you can see here I got output as class tuple, which means the class of this, the data type of this tup variable is tuple. So this is the concept of tuples. Let me comment these two lines. And here now the question is, can we perform indexing and slicing in tuples? In case of lists, we can perform indexing and slicing, right? We have discussed those concepts yesterday. So now the question is, can we perform indexing and slicing in tuples? So the answer to this question is yes. We can perform indexing and slicing also in tuples. We cannot modify the contents, but we can retrieve each and every element from a tuple. So we know that in case of list, the index number starts from zero. Similarly, in tuples also, the index number starts from zero and it will go until the length of tuple minus 1. We can also check out the length of tuple here. Like if I say print len of tup, in our today's session, I have told you about the len function, which returns the number of elements present inside list. You can see here, I got output as 5, which means there are 5 elements present inside this tuple tup. And the thing is, so the index number starts from 0 and it will end at length of tuple minus 1, which means the index number of this tuple tup starts from 0 and it will end at 4. The length of tuple is 5, right? So it will end at 4. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I can access individual elements using index numbers. So the concept is simple. If I say tup of 1, and if I run this program, you can see here I got output as 20, which means the 20 is stored in index number 1, 10 is stored in index number 0. like this. And also remember that we use parentheses to declare a tuple, but for indexing we use square braces only. It doesn't matter whether it is a list or tuple or whatever. For indexing and slicing, we use square braces only. For declaring a list, we use square braces, and for declaring tuple, we use parentheses. But for indexing, it is mandatory to use square braces. Yesterday we have discussed the syntax of indexing also. So this is the thing we can perform indexing and slicing. So let me show you the slicing also. If I say print tup of 1 colon 3, then elements present in the index numbers 1 and 2 will be printed. So 20 and 30. In output, I will get 20 and 30. If I run this program, you can see here in output I got 20 and 30 as result. So what is happening here? In case of slicing, it starts from 1 and it will end at 3. It will go until 3, but it won't print the content which is present inside index number 3. So it started from 20, it printed 30, and the end is 3, right? So it haven't printed the value which is stored inside index number 3. So it prints only values which are stored in index number 1 and 2. So this is the concept of slicing. And yesterday we have discussed about negative index numbers also. That thing also works in case of tuples. If I say tup of -1, we know that the negative indexing starts from end of the list of tuple, which means the negative index number of hello is -1, Python is -2, 30 is -3, like this. So if I run this program, then you can see here I got hello as output. Here I am printing the negative index number -1, so I got hello as output. So the thing is, we can perform indexing, slicing, negative indexing in tuples also. The major difference is we cannot modify the contents present inside a tuple. So let us try that. Let me comment these 3 lines. Now I will modify the content present inside the tuple. So if I say tup of 0, if I want to change the element which is stored in index number 0, which is 10. Now if I want to change this 10 to 100, so I have changed it there. And if I print tup, and if I run this program, I am getting error which says tuple does not support item assignment. So it is not possible to modify the items present inside a tuple. And also I don't have any functions like append, like that append, pop, insert. I don't have any of those functions. And also I have some of the functions. Let me show them to you. If I say print tup, I have two functions here, count and index. So with the help of count function, I can find out the occurrence of elements inside a list. For example, if I say tup.count of 10, let me use 10 two times here, so that value 10 is repeating 2 times inside my tuple now. So if I say print tup.count of 10, and if I run this program, you can see here I got output as 2. Here I am not modifying the contents present inside tuple. I am just trying to find the count of element 10 inside tuple. Of course I can do that, but I cannot use functions like append. If I say tup.append 10, I am going to get an error. You can see here tuple object has no attribute append. So I can use count function here. I can use len function to find the count of to find the number of elements present inside a list. So I have shown that, right? Here in the line number 14, I have shown you how to use len function. And similarly, I have one more function in tuples which is tup.index. If I want to find the index of any specific function, any specific value inside a tuple, I can use this index function. We have this index function in list also. So for example, if I want to find the index number of Python, I can simply say tup.index of Python. And if I run this program, I got output as 3, which means Python is stored at index position 3. So for 10, it is 0, 21, 32, and of course for Python, the index number is 3. So to find out the index number of any specific value inside a tuple, I can use this index function. So these are the two functions available in tuples. So why do we need tuples? In case if you want to store some confidential information, if you don't want to modify the information later, and if you don't want anyone to modify the contents, then you can use tuples. And if you want to change the contents present inside a data type, a lot of times, if you want to modify the data type, then you can use list. If you don't want to change the contents, you can use tuples, so that it provides us additional security. No one will be allowed to modify the contents of tuples. So this is the concept of tuples. So Yes, I have enabled the chat section one more time. If you have any issues to understand tuples, you can let me know. So why are we use tuple? I have told you if you don't want to modify the contents, then you can use tuples. For example, if I want to store something like my name and my details like my name, my age, my college name, my company name. If I want to store my details, I don't want to. I am not going to modify my name and my college name, my company name. I don't. I won't modify things like this. So for storing data like that, I can use tuples. Yes, list is mutable. I can change the contents present inside a list, and tuples are immutable, which means I cannot change the contents present inside a tuple. How to find the squares of element inside list? So for that, we need to discuss the concept of loops. Today, it is not possible to teach that. We will discuss that in upcoming dates. So, who is asking, can we store subtuple in tuple? Of course, we can store subtuple. I will show that. So Teja is asking, so, okay, Teja, it's great that you are practicing. I will explain you what happened with you now. Yes, yes, Sekar, we can declare tuples like that also, but it is better to use parentheses because for others it will be easy to understand. They can figure out by looking at it. So if this person is using parentheses, which means this is a tuple. Lakshmi, I have shown you how to change the values. I am going to disable the chat section now. Here, I have shown you how to change the values, right? So using index numbers, I am changing the values. I am changing the value 10. So in case of index number in index position 0, I am having 10 here. So I am changing the value at index number 0 to triple nine. If I print the list, I will get triple nine as output. Let me uncomment this line. Let me print it. So you can see here I got triple nine at index number 0. Here I am changing the value in list, right? So that's why we say lists are mutable. I can't do that in tuple. You might have seen that I have shown you. I will get an error if I do that. If I say tup of 0 equal to 100, if I run this program, I will get an error. So that's the thing. And let us discuss one more thing in list. We have discussed about extend function, right? So yesterday I have told you that this extend function will take a list or string as input parameter. What does this mean? Here I am already having a list, right? Let me copy the same list. And let me delete some elements from the list. So now I am having three elements inside my list A. And if I say A dot extend, I've told you that I can't use single element inside extend function. I can't use single element as value inside extend function. If I say A dot extend of 500 and if I try to print A, I will get an error. So int object is not iterable. So you can read this error here. I will zoom in little bit. Read this error, which is int object is not iterable. So what is meant by iterable? I will explain about iterable in upcoming classes. So now, as of now, remember, list is iterable, string is iterable, but integers and floating point numbers and boolean values are not yet iterable. So I can use only iterable values. For example, I can use another list here. Now I can say 900 comma 800 comma 700. If I print this, you can see here these three elements are getting added to my list now, 900, 800, and 700. So in case if I use a string here, so let me say hello. So let me just give a string as hello. If I run this program, you can see here this string is getting added. So this string is getting separated into characters. After that, it is considering each and every character as a new value, as a new element. So if I give string as an input to extend function, then it will separate all the characters because string is a iterable, which means it will think so the first character is a new element, the second character is a new element, the third character is a new element. So our Python interpreter will understand like that. So that's why it will separate our string into characters. In case if you want to give entire string, then it is mandatory to place this string inside a list. So here now I have placed this string in a list, and if I run this program, now you can see this hello is getting added to my list as a single element. So the thing is, if you want to add strings, then you need to place those strings inside square braces. You need to place those strings inside a list. If you directly give a string means it will add like separate characters because string is iterable. So this is the concept of list, and we have discussed about tuples in our today's class. So I will enable chat section now. I think it's enough for today because I can see here very few people have joined today's class. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Empty tuple, of course, if I won't mention any element inside a list or tuple, then empty tuple or empty list will be created. So here, if I say a t equal to empty tuple, l equal to empty list, if I print t and if I print l, you can see here, if I run this program, I am getting empty tuple and empty list in the output. So there is no point of creating empty tuple. It is meaningful to create empty list because we can add elements later. In case of empty tuple, if I declare an empty tuple, then I cannot modify the tuple. So there is no point in creating empty tuple. So Kavya, you can find index numbers is similar to list only. So there is no difference between indexing. Indexing also starts from 0. Simply I can say tup of 1. Then I will get 20 as output because 20 is stored in index number 1. Yesterday we have clearly discussed about indexing and slicing, right? So the same thing applies to tuples also. No, there is no reverse function in tuple because I have told you that I cannot modify the contents inside a list, I cannot modify the contents present inside a tuple, which means it is not possible to reverse the elements present inside a tuple. So tomorrow is holiday, Lakshmi. Sunday is holiday. Yes, Prasant, I have told you that with the help of count function, I can count the occurrence of individual character. So we will discuss this while discussing about string functions. So you don't have to worry about that now. So there is no concept of character inside a list. We consider list as separate. We separate the elements in list using commas. So we call the contents inside list as elements only. There is no concept of character inside a list. I can find the count of elements using count function. Yes, Sekar, I think you are asking question regarding extend function. In case of extend, I can give single character also. So that single character will be appended to the list. We are not allowed to give integers, float numbers, and boolean values. Apart from that, we can give tuples, lists, and strings in extend function. Yes, it is possible to store subtuple inside a tuple. I will share the task in group. What is the definition of iterable? It will be more meaningful if I explain you about iterable while discussing about loops. So yes, of course, I am repeating iterable again and again. So yes, Balaji, I need to explain about the concept of for loop and while loop in order to discuss about iterable. So that's why. So let me show you the simple definition. If I say simple, So let us ask ChatGPT. You know one thing, if you want to know the basic definitions, you can ask in ChatGPT. I am creating a new ChatGPT account here. So let's have some fun with ChatGPT because the students count is very less today. I have just given random birthday, and here I need to give my mobile number. Okay, next, done. Okay, if you want to learn basics from Chat, like so now I will ask a question as give me basic definition of iterable in Python. Explain it to a 10 years old. So now the ChatGPT will try to explain the concept of iterable to a 10 years old kid. So it will give the basic definition. If you read this, then you can easily understand. So in case if you want to learn any definitions, then add this sentence to your question, like explain it to a 10 years old or explain it to a layman. If you add these things, then it will give the basic definition. Otherwise, it will give complex definitions. So let me zoom in a little bit. So you can check out that in Python, an iterable is something that you can go through one by one. It is like having collection of things that you can look at individually. So I have told you that list is a iterable, right? So this list is a iterable, which means I can go through the elements one by one. First, I can go through 10 with the help of index numbers, and I can access individual element. So the thing about iterable is, an iterable is something that you can go through one by one. It's like having a collection. You can say I am having collection of elements stored inside my list, and it's like having a collection of things that you can look at individually. Of course, I can look at the individual elements inside list, right? So iterable is nothing but collection of things, and I can look at that individually one by one. So string is also iterable. For example, hello is a string, right? I can look at this in elements inside string one by one. So in our Monday's class, we will discuss about what are the functions available in string. Now we are aware of list and tuples. We have discussed what are the functions available in list and what are the functions available in tuples. There are only two functions inside tuple, by the way. We haven't discussed about what are the functions available inside for strings. So there are a lot of functions in string also. We can do a lot of operations on string. So we call string is also an attribute. So what is, so for your info, let me tell you one more thing. We can perform indexing and slicing in strings also. Let me show that. I know that to declare a string. So clearly I am going to explain all these things once again about strings on Monday's class. So let me declare here a string as Avanto. If I say print a of 0, I will get output as capital A. You can see here I am getting output as capital A because I can perform indexing in strings also, which means so the index number starts from 0. In case of strings also, the index number starts from 0. Here A is stored at index 0, capital small a is stored at index 1, small v is stored at index 2, like this. So this is the concept of indexing. In strings, the concept is same. We can access the individual characters in index using strings also. So we can also, the string is also a collection of characters. List is a collection of elements, and list is a collection of elements and string is collection of characters. There are multiple characters present inside this string. So that's the thing about iterable. It means collection of things which you can look at individually. And it will give you some basic definitions like imagine you have a bag of different tasks, each task is special and unique. So you can read this. It will give funny answers. For that, you need to mention like this: explain it to a 10 years old, or explain it to a layman, explain it to a kid. You need to specify like this after your question. Then it will give basic definition. So that's the concept of iterable. So the main reason behind me explaining about iterable is in case of extend function, let me remove these two lines. And in case of extend function, if I give a string as hello, and if I run this program, so now we know that string is iterable, which means we can look at each and every character individually. So first it is looking at h. Our Python interpreter is looking at h, and h is getting added to my list. After that, it is looking at e. So e is getting added to my list. In case if I enclose this string inside a list, then this list is a iterable, which means this list will have collection of elements. So this entire string will be considered as one element. If I directly mention a string, then each and every character of my string will be considered as separate element. Whereas if I mention string inside a list, then that entire string will be considered as element. That's the point here. That's why if I give string inside a list, then entire string will get appended to my list. So I hope now you clearly understood about what is meant by iterable and what is the difference between passing a string and a list inside extend function. So let me tell you one more thing. So the thing is here we can store subtuples inside a tuple. So let me declare here a variable t and let me give some elements like 10, 20, 60, and also I can use subtuple here. I can say 50, 900, 5000, and also I can add a list to inside a tuple also. We know that tuples and lists are heterogeneous. We have seen that, right? Which means I can add either string or integer or tuple or list inside a tuple. If I print t of 0, 1, 2, 3, then I will get this 50, 900, 5000. I will get this subtuple in my output. You can check out the output on my terminal. I am getting 50, 900, and 5000 as output. Similarly, if I want to access 900, then I have told you that I need to use another square base. So the concept of indexing and slicing is same in list and tuples. So if I want to access 900, so inside this tuple, 900 is stored in index number 1. Inside the main tuple, my subtuple is stored at index number 3. So here I have mentioned 3 first. Now I want to access 900. Inside my subtuple, 900 is stored at index number 1. So if I say t of 3 of 1, if I run this program, you can see here I got 900 on my output screen. Similarly, if I want to access the list, which is the last element inside this tuple, this list is the entire element now. This list is the entire element inside my tuple. So if I run this program, you can see here I got output as list, which is 800, 9500. If I want to access 500, then I need to specify the index number as 2. Inside the list, the index number of 500 is 2. The 800 is so the 800 the index number of 800 is 0, the index number of 9000 is 1, and the index number of 500 is 2. If I run this program, you can see here I got output as 500. So that's the thing here. We can store a list inside a tuple. We can store tuple inside a tuple. So this will be called as subtuple, and this entire tuple will be considered as element. This entire list will be considered as element. So that's how our Python interpreter will work. Similarly, now you may be having a doubt. Can we add a tuple inside a list? Yes, of course we can do that. Where I can add tuple inside my list because I know that my list is heterogeneous. I can add either list or tuple or string or integer, whatever I want, I can add. You can see here now, uh, let me comment out line number 43. So if I run this program, if I run this program once again, you can see here I got output as 10, 30, 20, and inside list I got one tuple. Similarly, if I want to access this tuple, I need to use the index number. The index number of this tuple is 0, 1, 2, 3. If I say a of 3, then I will get output as 500 comma hello. If I want to access only the element hello, then I need to specify the index number of hello. Inside this tuple, the index number of hello is 1 because indexing starts from 0. If I run this program, you can see here I got output as hello. So I am repeating these things again and again because I want you to remember these things forever. These are some of the basic concepts which you should remember. So I hope you are clear now. I have enabled the chat section. If you want to ask anything, you can ask now. Also, the time is 8:56 now. I am waiting for your questions. If you have any doubts, you can ask now. It is clear. Okay, thank you, Lakshmi. And I will stop the recording now.